It's nice to meet you. And I love the episode. I actually watched it today. And first question is, if you could live your life through the filter of any movie genre you wanted, which one would you choose?
Oh my goodness. I think it would be, I'd want to live through comedy for sure. I feel like every other drama has some sort of tragedy, right?
Yeah, for sure.
I would definitely like to live through the fun, a fun comedy genre. Maybe like a Pee-wee's Big Adventure World.
Oh, I love that. Yeah. The Pee-wee like road comedies like that, or The Jerk, stuff like that.
Yes.
So many fun, interesting people you would meet. That's a great answer. I love that. Now, this episode strayed quite a bit from like the usual after party formula because we're watching actual footage of Feng rather than being told, what's going on through their perspective. So knowing what you know about Feng, if he told his story, what genre do you think that would have been?
Oh, if he told his story, I think it would be yes, like screwball comedy.
Yeah, I don't even know what the genre is, but I was thinking like whatever genre The Big Short is in, like that would have been the thing.
Yeah, Feng on the surface is like always trying to entertain and be such a big, boisterous, fun character. I that's why I love this episode, and especially that going with like a real raw footage. This is just what you see is what you get. iPhone video. It's like what Feng has to deal with in this episode. It's like seeing his life, having to relive these moments that he doesn't really want to. He doesn't want to face reality, but he's forced to,
Right. Now, you also directed the first episode of the season, which is laying the groundwork for like everything. So was this episode like, was that something you were asked to return for, or was there like a specific reason you wanted to direct this episode?
So I did. Yeah, I did. I shot both of them. We shot them at the same time. So the first, I was the second director to come in. Chris Miller did the first two episodes that were shot were episode 3 and episode 9. And then I came on to shoot episode 1 after that and set everything up. We did 1 and 8 together. I think part of the reason was that 1 was such a gigantic episode that like every scene had like the full cast. And we had to set so much stuff up that it just took, and it was a longer episode. So I think part of the reason was like I got paired with a very stripped down episode just for scheduling purposes, because with the found footage, the iPhone video, you'd rehearse the scene a whole bunch, and then maybe you'd shoot a dozen takes of it. But these are all single take scenes, and then you're out of there. You don't have to move lights around and get a bunch of additional coverage. So they were kind of easy to pair together in that way.
Now, as a director, though, does it drive you crazy to have to direct something in that 9:16 format, like social media videos?
Well, I did a Quibi show back when that was around, so I was used to shooting, vertical stuff as well. My approach to it, like as weird as this sounds, is like I treated it as seriously as if it were one of the other film genres. One of my big pet peeves is when I see iPhone footage in a movie or TV show, and it doesn't look like real iPhone footage. It looks like it was shot with an Alexa or something.
Yeah.
And it's just a lot slicker. I went to great lengths to try to make this actually look like it was shot by some 17-year-old kid holding a vertically, a vertical iPhone. Even though the camera operator, Grant, who handled all this footage, was the Steadicam operator on Power of the Dog. He's like a brilliant camera operator. And I remember I kept having to tell him to like dumb it down. I'm like, you have to make this look worse, Grant. It's got to look like some, like, I love what you're doing. These shots
are too talented. You got to tone it down.
Yeah, you're too talented. It has to look like a kid who's not a professional and he's 17 years old, holding this thing. And I shot with, this took a little bit of convincing, but we shot with like the native iPhone camera app. I remember everyone wanted to shoot with Filmic Pro, so we'd have more control over the raw image. And I was like, it's got to look authentic. Like when you pinch to zoom in, we have to see that moment where the lenses change and there's that little blip and things go out of focus. Like, so, you know, I did take it very seriously and, you know, and try to give an authentic found footage experience.
I thought you did a great job for the record. Not that it matters what I think, but I thought you knocked it out of the park. Now, getting to make all of these like social media style videos with Ken Jeong, which scene or situation made you laugh the hardest? I've got a thought about which one it might be, but I want to hear what you think.
You know, there was like a montage of him berating like a bunch of servers and stuff that are like working at the wedding as he's trying to teach them how to make bao bing, which was really fun. The other, my other favorite was just him like filming a little fake commercial for you know, social media commercial for his video where he has the crown on his head. He was just doing, and there's a bunch of takes that obviously, you know, you don't get to see, but like Ken's dancing was just like really killing me.
Yeah, I thought that's the one I thought you were going to say. My second choice was when Zach comes out of the pool covering his nipples. I was like, oh my God, it's just a small thing that's so funny for the character.
And that was just improvised by Zach.
Now, you're somebody who got your start in improv and at UCB, and you've directed so much comedy. Who is somebody that like wows you with their improv skills? Like, you've worked with so many incredible people, but like, who's the GOAT for you?
I mean, I have to say that, and I'm not just saying this because we're already talking about him, but Zach Woods is the GOAT. Like, I've known Zach Woods since he was 16 years old at UCB in New York. And I've got to work with him on The Office, and I worked with him on Silicon Valley. But I have to say, like, even as a 16-year-old, he was like, everyone was, you know, the 40-year-olds that were doing improv at the time were blown away by this kid. And the amount of stuff, especially on Silicon Valley, the amount of Zach Woods improv that ends up on screen is just astonishing.
Oh, I got a sidebar real quick for a second.
Sure.
Can I tell you how much I absolutely loved Son of Zorn? And I loved it so much. Me and my son watched the first season twice. I mean, we went like just back to back. We thought it was so good. Do you remember what any plans might have been if you guys would have got a second season? Because I just think that we were robbed not getting a second season.
Well, let's see. So Zorn got kidnapped at the end of the first season by Volchazor. We had talked about maybe the first episode of season 2 would have been a like Edie and Craig had to have to go to Zephyria. It would have brought the humans to like the cartoon world more. They would have had to like rescue Zorn from there and bring him back. And I know there was some talk about like Volchazor also moving to Orange County and running for government. So like Zorn's like, yeah, the villain from his He-Man like world ends up like becoming mayor of like Orange County.
Congratulations for Weird getting all these award nominations. Weird is so fantastic. I loved it. And the fact that you co-wrote a screenplay with Weird Al makes you a legend in my eyes. Just so cool. What I was curious about was when you guys were writing this script, was there ever thought of making Weird a legitimate biopic of Weird Al's life, or was it always planned to be a spoof of biopics?
Yeah, it was always planned to be. So the, you know, it originally started as a fake movie trailer that was on Funny or Die. So, and that was my idea, was to make a fake biopic trailer about someone who was still alive, and to just make everything up. Like, it's so easily fact checkable. So when we decided to make the feature version, yeah, it was always like no research on Al's actual life involved. Let's just try to tell the ultimate biopic story and you know, make it seem like all of these fantastic, crazy things happened to Weird Al.
I loved it. I thought it was great. Just the idea of Weird Al and Madonna hooking up is like the
oh my gosh.
Now, is there any particular person that you would love to write or direct like an actual biopic for, if you could choose anybody?
Oh my goodness. I feel like a Paul Reubens biopic would be great. An actual Paul Reubens biopic. Like,
that is a great choice. I mean, because he's fascinating. I mean, obviously Pee-wee is fascinating, right? But his personal life and some of the controversies with that, I mean, he would be a fantastic person for a biopic.
I would love to. I feel like that's a story that people would.
If you had a dream cast for anybody to play Pee-wee that's working today, who do you think?
Oh my God. Well, I'll say Jorma Taccone did such a great job playing him in Weird.
That's true. That's true.
I think Jorma would be it.
Yeah, that's a great answer. Now, just to bring it back around to Afterparty, last question is, I always love asking this when I'm talking to somebody about a murder mystery, but when you read the scripts, did you guess who the killer was? Like, did you correctly guess the killer?
When I read, did I correctly guess it?
No spoiler though. Don't tell me.
No spoilers. I did not correctly guess it. No. I'm so bad. I'm very bad at these things. When they lead me in a certain way, I'm like, oh yeah, that's definitely it.
I feel like it's not even fair. Like, you have to almost write down who the person is after the first episode, because it'll just switch, right? Each episode. I think you have to make like a hard choice and be like, this is the person that I'm going with, and then see where it goes from there. But I'm with you. I never get to the killer.
Yeah, I remember as a fan just watching the first season, every single episode, I was like, oh, well, it's definitely this person now.
Yeah.
What I love so much about murder mysteries as TV shows is that you get to make that turn at the end of every episode. The following episode is like, okay, well, we're eliminating one person and now everyone gets to be a suspect, which is so fun.
Now I'm just going to go ahead and you're the only person that I've said my guess to, but it seems so obvious. I mean, for me, it's like Elizabeth Perkins. I was like, she just seems like her character's so cold. I'm like, maybe it's her, but I just hope it's not Fing, because I feel so bad for him this whole season. I've been like, I have more sympathy for Fing than anybody else. I like his brother, his wife cheated on him with his brother, and
I know it is a heartbreaking character.
Yeah,
it's really a heartbreaking character for sure. Yeah.
Eric, I don't want to take up any more of your time. Thank you so much for taking the time to talk with me today. It was a real treat, and I love your work, and I can't wait to see what you do next.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Great talking with you.